Hi, and welcome to the ADHD-Friendly podcast. I'm Patty Blinderman. I'm an ADHD coach, and my passion is sharing things that I find to be ADHD-friendly in the hopes that they could bring a little bit more ease into your life as well. This is episode 22, and in this episode, I'll be sharing how I've taken something around sports and turn it into a very ADHD-friendly tool to support myself. So I'm calling this March Madness and Prioritizing. If you're a basketball fan, particularly college basketball, the structure of March Madness tools probably isn't something that you haven't seen before. I don't love college basketball or March Madness, but I do like the bracket. So this is just a pretty typical NCAA bracket. I like how it starts with a number of choices and narrows down. I've always found that really helpful in terms of processing. And I just noticed when there were times where I felt like I had too many choices, too much was expected of my working memory, my ability to hold all of the details or all of the options in my mind and use them to support myself. So this became really very clear when each year I would attend the International Conference on ADHD. There are what feels like endless decisions to make around breakout sessions. So I pulled a previous catalog. And so for the Friday sessions, there are 10 pages in this year's manual to choose from, all full of options for breakout sessions. I'll go through, I'll circle them. If I go to attend a session, it was too crowded, or for some reason I didn't want to go to the one I initially thought I wanted to go to. It was a lot of effort and working memory to go back and try to figure out, well, what else could I attend at this time? What else is offering me renewal credits, or what else is something that I'm really interested in the topic that is being presented? And it just required so much effort and energy that I found it just absolutely draining. By the end of the day, I was literally wiped out. So I remembered the March Madness bracket, and I started making my own list using that structure. And it was just so much easier because I could go back and see easily on one page, what did I decide was my top, 2 or 3 choices? Which one did I decide I was going to go to? And then if for some reason I needed to pivot pretty quickly, usually because it was a very crowded session and I don't like crowds, I could go back and easily look at my sheet and see, oh, okay, this other session was also something that I wanted to see that's happening right now. And it's in this room, and I just walk over and go to it. And it just made my experience at conferences so much easier. So much so that in 2019, I made a conference POM, a personal owner's manual for the conference. And I did a presentation where I shared the tool that I made for myself and helped others to take advantage of the same kind of structure that I found from the March Madness bracket to be very helpful. And so this is outlined in terms of how the session is structured, with morning sessions, early afternoon, late afternoon, evening, and non-session activities. And so it starts with listing all the ones interested in, and then you can see it narrows down. And again, if you decide your number one choice isn't where you want to go, you can go back and see what else were you considering, right? So it just makes it easy in one place to see what you decided and what else could you do instead if for some reason your initial plan doesn't work out the way you were hoping it would. I love this because it's concrete and it's visual. So it gets it out of my head and into something I can process with more ease. So I'm not flipping through multiple pages. It's one page for each day. I carry it around and I can see what I'm doing and what my plan is. Because we're in March and March Madness is upon us again, I wanted to share some other tips, some ways to borrow that structure that I've used in other areas of my life. And again, just in case it helps you to prioritize. So this is my generic prioritization planning sheet. And here I'm exploring some different anniversary trips. My husband and I are getting ready to celebrate our 30th anniversary. And so here I just structured it around who is going to go? Initially, we thought maybe we'll take the kids. So it could be us alone, us and our kids. We could invite extended family. The what might we do? Where might we go? When would we go? And then how, or how much or how long, right? Kind of looking at the budget of it. It just lets you create your own categories based on what's most important to you, and to see as you narrow it down, what was your top choice? And if you need to go back and revisit something, you remember what the other things were. So that's just a travel, if you will, kind of prioritization planner. Another thing you could do is, if you are going away, this is an example that I only partially filled in, but you'll get the idea of like a long weekend, or maybe a day trip, where you could, pick the restaurants that you're considering and narrow it down. Lunch, dinner, what excursions, what activities would you want to do? Or if you're going to see shows, what shows were you thinking about? And which one did you decide on? And if you need to revisit because of price or you can't get tickets, it just lets you, again, capture the decisions and remember what they were so you can pivot more easily. And my last example is this past Christmas, I wanted to make a handmade gift for my husband and each of my kids. So I took the same structure and I just wrote down some different options and what I decided on for each one. So it's literally, I was either knitting, or I like to do puzzles and then I frame them. And so if I was doing, maybe there was a puzzle I was thinking about doing, and I would decide between, am I knitting something, or am I making something, or am I baking something, whatever it might be. So I can remember what I decided, and then see for each person, what am I doing for them? So I'm remembering my plan and able to navigate more easily to getting it checked off. So that's just a little bit of what I wanted to share around how to take some structure from something else that wasn't intended really to support working memory or ADHD brain wiring, and bring it into how to put it in place for your day-to-day decisions or your bigger decisions, to help you to see them and remember them with more ease. I hope you found this topic helpful. If you'd like to run your own ADHD-friendly experiment, I invite you to, I'm going to include a PDF of this tool. Just explore how you might use it. I've had clients use the same structure to help decide when buying a car or a dishwasher, to remember the different things that are priorities around different features, or the different types, the different brands, that type of thing, just to capture everything in one space. If that's something you'd like to play with, I invite you to try it to see if it gives your decision making a little bit more ease. If you like this episode, please subscribe to my podcast and recommend it to a friend. And as always, until next time, Tally Ho.